All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with Valley flying for more Marvel Future Revolution action. Valley, we're finally going to be ranking every hero in Marvel Future Revolution. Are you excited for this?
Ooh, yeah, baby. I am looking forward to this. And yes, why is Captain America so good? I've got his shirt on. He has to be good, right? Tell me he's good.
I'm wearing the Thor shirt, so we can't rank him.
Ah, the Midgardians.
The Midgundians. And although I'm not repping nearly as much as Thor would rep, but
you have been lifting Mjolnir very much with the size of those guns.
No, I've been doing like 20 pounds now. All right, let's get right now. We're gonna do two videos here. Valley and I are both giving our best opinions on these heroes. Now, a disclaimer that we're both gonna give is we haven't played extensively with every hero, and so we are leaning on the knowledge of the whole community that we are very plugged into for some of these rankings, but more of the heroes towards the top, we've got a better pulse on. So we're gonna start with my last ranked hero.
Hold on. We got two separate lists though. And so I want you to go to my list, watch this list, and I want you to let you know on this video and on the other one which list do you think is better.
There we go. Yep, I forgot to include that part. So we've got our own list. So Valley doesn't know what my list is. I don't know what his list is, and we'll see how similar. It'll be funny if we do it exactly the same.
I hope you got Captain America on your list.
I mean, yeah, there's only 8, so yes, he's on the list.
He's in the top 10, baby. He's in the top 10.
Everybody's in the top 10. Okay, here we go. Star-Lord is number 8.
Number what? Oh, okay, number 8.
Number 8. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go from the bottom to the top. And here's the thing about Star-Lord. Even with the rework, it just seems to be pretty much consensus last place on everyone's usability. His damage doesn't seem that good. His blaster fire seems mediocre at best. There's just not a lot of use there for Star-Lord, even post rework.
I would agree with that. He was not a very used character before his rework. I think he's at 2 now, and he's still not very used. He has some good damage, and there's some people that enjoy him. I just think with to make him to get to that usable level in PvP and later game PvE, you're going to need to use a lot of investment to get him up to where you need to for him to be competitive. So with that, can he be a good character? Yes, but he's going to take a lot more investment than other characters to be at that same level. So I think he's towards the bottom. I think that's pretty appropriate for him.
All right, moving on. We've got number 7 on the list. Captain Marvel. Now, Carol Danvers, from what I have seen and heard, is a fun hero to use, but unfortunately, her damage as well is a little bit lacking and limited mobility. It's really easy for her to get overwhelmed by crowds, which definitely affects her viability from a PvP or from a PvE standpoint, and then not a ton of viability in the PvP late game.
Yeah, I mean, she's just an overall good hero. She's got some good DPS as well, but doesn't really stand out. She doesn't really shine too much above some of these other characters, kind of like the Star-Lord. Can she be good? Yes. Can she put on a lot of damage? Yes. But are you going to have to invest a lot more into Captain Marvel than you would in other characters? And I think, unfortunately for her, the answer is also yes in that. So she loses a little value there just because you're going to need to invest more to get her to that level.
There you go.
To that high level. So
okay, now we're getting into some of the better characters in the game. I would say pretty comfortably the top 6 are all pretty good. Like you could do a lot of good things with the top 6 heroes. That's something that I actually really appreciate about the game is they seem to have balanced the top characters pretty well to where you're not really severely disadvantaged if you pick one or the other. But definitely out of that group of 6, number 6 for me is Storm. This is disappointing to me because it really felt like at the beginning of the game in the soft launch, the narrative was leaning pretty heavily towards Storm being one of the better characters in the entire game. And it just seems like once we got to that late game, she just didn't have enough damage to keep up.
Yeah, she's someone that after that 500k level doesn't really scale as much with the other characters. You know, she's gonna have good damage, and like the rest of these characters, they could all be good in this game if you put enough resources into them. But other than the damage, she's very squishy. She doesn't have as many tricks as some other characters that we're probably going to talk about that's rated higher in the list. But yeah, good crowd control. But as far as her single target damage, she doesn't offer that a lot. So there's some missing with Storm. I think she's not really dominant in the PvE modes and not really dominant in PvP. So she's just kind of in the game. She's kind of there, unfortunately.
She's kind of there. Yeah, and that having that balance of AoE and single target damage is really important, especially when you're going after the later bosses in the game. And you really kind of need that single target damage. If you're going after some of those guys with AoE, it's just not going to be nearly as effective. All right, number 5. You're gonna love this one. There's your cap. Number 5. Number 5.
Oh,
yeah.
My goodness.
How do you like that?
That's a very conservative rating. That's a very conservative rating for Captain America. I gotta be honest. I think he's one of the best PvE characters in this game. So I think that is a little bit conservative for him. But I don't know if I would necessarily. I don't know if I would necessarily disagree.
Okay. So we got a little bit of bias coming out here. Now listen. Putting Cap at number 5 is less about Cap and more about what comes above Cap. Because the remaining 4 are gonna be, the Doctor Strange, the Black Widow, Iron Man, Spider-Man. That crowd there is, in my opinion, hand over fist more valuable than a Cap is. One of the biggest things with Cap is he doesn't fly, which kind of sucks, But that doesn't necessarily affect.
He's super slow. He's super slow.
We need to get Cap like a motorcycle or something.
Someone mentioned this in chat earlier. Have Falcon be a summoner for him, and Falcon flies him around the map. So he gets some mobility.
Dude, that'd be amazing.
I would love that. Come on, Net Marvel, make it happen.
But one of the more unique things about Cap, though, that I think makes him so solid is the defense that he brings to the game, and the ability to buff up his team while they're in battle is really great for things like oh my gosh, what's the game mode? Special Operations, Omega War.
Operations also,
yeah. Both of those are going to be very, very useful to have Cap in, and so I think he's one of those heroes. Like if you're going to be farming several heroes at once, you're gonna want Cap on the list. But I do think that the other 4 are just gonna be more valuable.
Well, flat out, without argument, he's the best tank in the game right now.
Yeah.
And if the meta ever changes,
he's kind of like the only tank in
valuable. The game. Yeah. So if there's ever a need for tanks in this game, his value's gonna shoot up way high. But he's the best tank. But I don't know much if you really need that in the game.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Like, Cap's the best tank. I'm like, he's the only tank.
What do we need Cap?
Like, who else is a tank out of these 8 heroes? Like, I don't think anybody's a tank.
Yeah, that's true. Very true. Very true.
All right, here we go. Number 4. We're into the top 4, top half of the list. We got Spider-Man. Probably the most versatile character in the game. Hits like a truck. Absolutely fantastic in PvP. He's got good single target damage, and he's got a good balance of solid AoE, crowd control, everything else that you need there. If you love Spider-Man, you're going to have plenty of use for Spider-Man.
Yeah, you could argue that he is the top PvP character right now.
Yeah.
I know you have somebody else in mind that you're going to pick on this list, but there is an argument because of his extensive dodge that he is the best for PvP right now. Struggles a little bit in pure PvE type content. He's way better in PvP than PvE, but great character, fun character to build. Flies all around the map with his webs that he shoots. So yeah, just a great all around character. And if you can't hit somebody, you can't hit somebody, you can't damage them. So yeah, the dodge does play a role with him.
Yeah, the dodge is, I can't believe I didn't even mention that in my first review, because that's probably the biggest appeal to Spider-Man is how much dodge he brings to the table.
It's a good thing you brought me on.
I'm like, how did I forget that? Yeah, so I think out of all the characters, I haven't played with Spider-Man very much. I've focused a lot more on the top part of my roster, and I just... My life is crazy right now. I've had hours and hours and hours every day to invest in the game. But that said, he's really fun to play with, the time that I have spent with him.
Yeah. I haven't had a lot of time with Spider-Man, but the limited time that I have, he is a very fun character. And and I know how much he wrecks me when I'm fighting in PvP. So yeah, excellent for PvP.
Yeah, I haven't done very well against him. All right, we're gonna move on
He's
here.
so good.
Number 3 is my favorite, Iron Man, and this is the character I've grinded the most.
Okay.
Gonna be my first level 100 here today or tomorrow. I'll be able to get there. And look, Iron Man just brings a lot to the table in terms of damage. He's got great guard break abilities. You can have a set where almost every ability has high guard break, which is super valuable in both PvP and PvE. He's got the AoE for crowd control, but you can give him a pretty solid set to focus that damage on single targets as well. And of course, he flies around. He can bring a supporting cast in with one of his abilities, where he brings in some other armored characters to help you out. There's just so much about Iron Man, I think, that is really solid.
No, when you're talking about versatile characters, Iron Man is one of the most versatile characters.
Yeah.
You get lots of the damage, and he's a character that is very good in PvE and PvP content. So,
Yeah.
If you're not wanting that specialization and just wanting the character that is versatile, Iron Man takes the cake. And I think at the higher levels, above 500k is when you really start to see him shine. So
Yeah.
you might like your Iron Man now. I think even when you build him up, from what I hear from other people, you're going to like him even better as you start to build him and get his higher and higher powered. So yeah, Iron Man, I agree with this. Versatile character and great damage.
Love to see it. All right, number 2 is Black Widow.
All right.
One of the better PvP characters in the game. I think she gives Spider-Man a run for his money. She just hits like a freaking truck. Probably her biggest pitfall is that she is a bit squishy, but and maybe a little bit harder to control than other characters. But Black Widow just brings so much to the table PvP-wise. I think she's kind of one of those characters that since the game launched, people slowly started to realize, whoa, Black Widow, when you really build her up, I'm just hearing amazing things about what she can do.
Now, how much have you used her since the nerf? Because she was super overpowered in soft launch. She did get that nerf that brought her skills a little back. I think she's still one of the best characters in the game, though. High damage. She goes into stealth, which means that if you're trying to PvP her, you can't attack her because she's in stealth. And then, she just brings out that high damage. But like you said, is a little squishy. So if she's not having that dodge, she can get there. I think where she lacks... The
stealth kind of makes up for that. The stealth kind of makes up for her squishiness, though, doesn't it?
It does. The stealth and dodge makes up for that. I think where she excels in that single target damage, but crowd control is where she struggles a little bit. So certain modes in PvE, she'll struggle, but excellent for PvP or anything that you're trying to take out one target with a huge single target attack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think her ultimate ability too, I really like how it functions. Honestly, I mean, it's different than any other ultimate ability in the game where you're proccing it, 3 times in a row potentially. And it's not used to deal a lot of damage to somebody, but it's used more for the utility of being able to get around and surprise people from behind, which is super valuable in PvP and even PvE. And obviously you got the damage bonuses when you're coming out of that and dealing a big hit. And so I really think that ultimate ability is underrated and a big part of why I'm putting her at number 2, because I just think there's so much practical use for that.
Yeah, I would agree. She's very high. I think I'd rate her a little different, but yeah, if I agree with what you say about the character. I think she's
you're wrong.
You guys could decide.
Wrong.
Cubs family, you guys can decide. Leave it in the comments, and Cubs. You can write that he's wrong. It's fine. It's fine. I believe in you. I believe in you guys. You guys have the honesty come through.
So I think we're gonna agree on the number 1 character in the game, and it's Doctor Strange. I could be wrong. Now this is purely based, as you could tell, I have not played with Doctor Strange yet. But this is
at all. Jeez,
I know.
You're heavily influenced by the opinions of others on this one, my friend.
Here's why though, is it seems to be the consensus number 1. Like I don't see very many people saying otherwise right now. There's just and for him, he seems to be one of the most balanced characters in the game. He's got amazing AoE damage. He's got so much versatility that he brings to the table. I'm buying it. I'm buying it. He's the next character I'm going to start grinding after I I finish my Iron Man a little bit and get Black Widow up there, and I'm probably gonna move Iron Man into my, Doctor Strange into my third spot.
Yeah, he's actually a character that I'm bringing up next because of that versatility that he offers.
Yeah.
Excellent character in PvE game modes. Actually, probably a little better in PvE than PvP. But yeah, versatility. Probably the best crowd control person in the game. He can offer support. You could turn him into a damage dealer. You could turn him into a support character to support your team. He's got illusions that he summons. I mean, he does a lot, and you could specialize whatever build you want with Captain America. With Doctor Strange. There's a lot of different ways you could go, and I think that versatility gives him that top spot because you could build Captain. I keep saying Captain America. You could build Doctor Strange how you want. Guess who's on my brain, guys?
Is Captain America gonna be your number one?
He'll be on the list. You gotta go to the video to see that. Come
to the video to see how much of a homer Valley Flight is for Captain America.
See. You guys gotta see.
Anyway, yeah, so with Doctor Strange, again, I fully acknowledge my own pitfalls on experience with him, but I just, the reviews seem very, very consensus and easy to buy into on what he brings to the game, being the number one hero in the game. So what do you guys think? Let us know down in the comments, and be sure to come over to Valley's video right now. We're going to re-rank these characters in Valley's opinion.
In the correct order.
In the incorrect order. And it's just so that we can have, some debate and all of that. But really, I mean, Valley knows that my list is the best list. You already know this.
Oh, you guys go watch my video, come back here, and let Cubs know why he's wrong.
All right, I'm getting out of here. I've ended this thing. Go see Valley's video.
Later.